You ever hear a sound so faint, so persistent, that it just burrows into your brain and won't let go? For me, it was the sizzle of the grill at the Krusty Catch. Night after night, even after I left work, I'd still hear it. When I closed my eyes, when I tried to sleep, when I sat alone in the dark, there it was. That soft, endless sizzle. I started to wonder if I even had a life outside that grill anymore. It was like the sound had replaced my heartbeat. I worked that job for years. Decades. Never missed a shift. Never complained. Never asked for a raise. Mr. Clamps always said I was the perfect employee. And maybe I was. I scrubbed grease from the fryer until my hands bled. I flipped patties in 100-degree heat while he hoarded the profits. I told myself I was happy. I told myself this was my dream. But dreams rot when you let them sit long enough. And one night, something inside me snapped. It was late. Closing time. The restaurant was empty except for me and Mr. Clamps. He was in the back office counting money, as usual, and I was on grill duty, trying to scrape off the charred remains of 1,000 forgotten lunches. "SpongeBoy!" Clamps barked from the office. "Make sure ye clean that fryer spotless. That grease is older than you." I didn't respond. I didn't laugh. I just scrubbed harder. My hands were raw. My arms shook. My skin, my actual skin, was peeling like a sponge that had been left in the sun too long. Why do I even do this? I muttered. "What's that?" Clamps called. "Nothing," I said quickly. But that wasn't true. It was everything. The clock ticked over to 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes to close. 2 minutes to freedom. But the air felt heavier than usual. Like the ocean around the building had thickened. Everything smelled like hot iron and mold. Mr. Clamps waddled out of his office, clutching a fistful of damp bills. He smiled at me, teeth yellow and crusty. "Ye know, SpongeBoy," he said, chomping into a cold patty, "you made me a lot of money over the years. And I gotta say, I admire your loyalty. Most folks woulda quit. But not you." He chuckled, bits of meat falling from his mouth. "Ye know the secret formula, right? It's not in the food. It's in the exploitation." That was the moment. I don't remember deciding to do it. I just remember moving. I picked up the grill spatula, sharpened to a razor edge, and walked toward him. "Do you trust me, Mr. Clamps?" I asked. He raised an eyebrow. "What kind of question is that, boy?" "Because if you trust me, you'll close your eyes." He laughed, confused. "SpongeBoy, you're actin' weird. Just clean up and go home." I smiled. "I am home." And I plunged the spatula into his throat. He gurgled, red-black sludge spraying from his mouth. He grabbed at me with his claws, twitching, stumbling backward into the fryer station. His blood hit the grill and hissed. I stared at him while he died, something new growing inside me. I wasn't sad. I wasn't horrified. I felt free. The cleanup took hours. I locked the doors, turned off the lights, dragged the body to the back room and got to work. I dismembered him piece by piece. The cleaver from the prep station worked wonders. His shell cracked like ceramic. I gutted him clean. Years of slicing onions and chopping lettuce had prepared me for this. It felt natural. Once I had his meat separated, I washed it, ground it, season it with sea salt, breadcrumbs, and a touch of catchy patty spice mix. Then I formed it into patties. Scrappy patties, I called them. I grilled one. Took a bite. It was divine. The next day, I served them to the customers. They loved it. Squib noticed right away. New recipe? He asked, suspicious. Limited edition, I told him. Secret family blend. He rolled his eyes, took a bite, and went silent. For the first time in years, he said, "Okay. That's actually incredible." Word spread fast. Within hours, the restaurant was full. The townsfolk devoured the new patties like sharks in a feeding frenzy. They needed it. But Mr. Clamps wasn't an endless supply. By the end of the week, I was nearly out of meat. And I couldn't go back to regular patties. Not after this. Not after tasting what true greatness felt like. The power. The worship. The addiction. I needed more. Harold was the first. You know, the brown fish with glasses who always whined about his food. He was annoying. Always asked for no pickles and sent things back. I followed him home after his lunch shift. When he opened his front door, I was already inside. He screamed. I didn't let him finish. The cleaver came down fast. Over and over. I took the best cuts, wrapped them in butcher paper, and labeled them Tuesday meat. I stored them in the freezer behind the crusty catch, replacing old chum barrels with fresh flesh. The next day's patties had a new kick. Slightly sweet. Tender. Customers raved. That's when it started. One by one, I began selecting my victims. Bubble gut? Too greasy. Frederick? Chewy, but rich. Miss Poff? Tough. Needed marinating. Every cut mattered. I took notes. I made charts. I ranked the citizens by flavor and consistency. Deep Reef City had become my livestock. I converted the back freezer into a meat locker. Rows of bodies. Vacuum sealed. Alphabetized. I stopped going home. Slept on bags of frozen meat. Dreamed of sizzling. Squib noticed I was different. You look worse than usual, he said. I'm perfect, I replied, slicing a thick slab labeled Nancy. Where's Mr. Clamps? He asked. Vacation. And Patruck? Lost at sea. You're lying. I turned to him, spatula in hand. You're eating your friends, Squibbered. Maybe you should stop asking questions. He never asked again. Garen was the only one who truly knew. He stopped coming near me. Hid in his shell. Refused to eat. That broke my heart. So I brought him to the crusty catch. Boiled him. The meat was bland. Tasteless. I cried as I ate it anyway. Patruck came by the next week, holding a jar of mayonnaise. Wanna hang out? He asked. I smiled. In the freezer. We played Go Fish next to body bags. He asked what the smell was. Pickles, I said. Eventually, I stood up, cleaver raised. Do you trust me, Patruck? He smiled. Of course I do, SpongeBoy. It should have been quick. It wasn't. Deep Reef City grew quiet. Streets emptied. Houses dark. The population dwindled. Yet the crusty catch stayed open, The few remaining townsfolk kept coming, even as their friends vanished, even as whispers spread. They needed the patties more than they needed truth. Until Sandira walked in. She hadn't eaten there in months. Spent most of her time in the air dome, running tests. She ordered one scrappy patty. Ate it in silence. Then she looked at me. Her eyes didn't blink. "You've been busy." "Always am," I said, flipping a fresh patty label Tom. "Where's Patruk?" "Gone." "Clamps?" "Dead." "Squibbered?" "In the freezer." She nodded. "I know what you've done." I picked up my cleaver. "Then you know what happens next." She pulled out a revolver. "I'm not afraid of you." "You should be." The shootout set the crusty catch on fire. We fought through the smoke, slipping on blood. I got her in the leg. She shot me in the side. We screamed. We bled. We destroyed everything. She got away. I don't know if she told anyone. I stayed behind. Now the crusty catch is mine. Burned. Broken. But still standing. I don't cook anymore. I age the meat. I wait. I remember. Tourists come through sometimes. Lost. Hungry. I serve them a taste. They always come back. One bite. And they belong to me.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being